A First Date Guide. Chapter 1. First Date Guide Essays. First Date 1. So you lied, I lied. Daters are liars. Martin Short character in 1987 movie, Cross My Heart. It's not personal, it's chemistry. It's either they're right away or not, that indescribable feeling where you know they rock your world and you rock theirs. First dates should be quick mutual look-sees like a cup of coffee, a snack, a walk in a park, a jaunt through a museum or something short, not a long meal at a restaurant, a long drive or even a movie, because if you don't like each other, it's a drag to hang around. Keep it quick, keep it public, be honest about yourself, don't try to impress, just be yourself. If you each like each other, you can make the second date longer. If not, you found out without wasting too much energy. Either way, shake hands, avoid hugs and kisses until the emotional connection is there. I was watching this dating show on TV where the guy wants the first date to be romantic, so he's in the hot tub with the girl and there's nothing going on. She says you should have tried to make it fun, not romantic. Don't take yourself too seriously. If you don't like them, don't beat around the bush. Can it? If you like them, show energy, some excitement that you're happy to be there. Be sincere, clean, nice, and have sexual chemistry. Do not advertise sexuality in any way like extra cleavage, otherwise the guy won't take you as marriage material, because guys in general want a nice, mild-mannered girl not full of herself thinking she's all that, gonna be a model and a superstar. Try to be ladies and gentlemen. The way life works is that almost everybody except for a few extreme losers think of themselves as the most special, beautiful person on the planet. They're looking at you and measuring you by how you come up to their standards. They're not thinking about pleasing you, they're thinking about you fitting into their standards while you're thinking about them fitting into your standards. So there's chemistry for disaster here, two self-centered people trying to see what the other can do for them while acting all nice and good-hearted on the outside. I've watched a lot of dating shows on TV, and what I see is just about everybody with an inflated sense of how advanced and happening they are, happening as defined by athletic, cool, creative, exciting, adventurous and passionate. This is the vibe that people try to give off, and it's mostly phony as people go way too far trying to be frivolously cool and end up making fools of themselves, going way over the top. Don't try to act too cool, too happy, too funny or too smart, because in the cold hard reality of day-to-day life, you're just an ordinary person with insecurities like everybody else. You don't fool me, and I shouldn't try to fool you by pretending to be something I'm not. Be yourself and never come on too strong. Let it develop or wither naturally. Your date is probably just as down to earth as you in his or her natural state, unless she's a total phony, in which case try to can it as quickly as possible. And don't ever initiate talk about sex on a first date. If it's meant to be, it will happen in due time. A first date is simply asking the questions, do I like you and do you like me, by feeling each other out. Anyone who starts a date with any expectations of a kiss, hug, or even sex is lost. Just go with the expectation that you will try to have a pleasant time, and that's it. Even if you like the person and they you, it's no big deal if you don't kiss at the end of the date. There's too much pressure. First date 2. If you're gonna have sex and get married, it will happen in due time. It's perfectly fine to just say goodbye and walk away, or shake her hand like a new friend and walk away. Your job when going out on a first date, if you really like them, is to help them along with their delusion of specialness by making them feel special, making them think that you're special, and making the unit of you as a couple seem like a cozy, sizzling, hot, magical dynamic. People generally act cool and nice on a first date, which may be a bit phony, but it's better than some of the insensitive nasties I've seen out there. So play it cool, try to be yourself and accept your date for who they are. If they're a clod, you will get out in due time, so just play nice until the right tactful opportunity presents itself. A first date is the checkout, checking someone out for potential for the lifetime haul. You usually know in about anywhere from a second to a minute if there's something there. It's always primal look whether you admit to it or not. You know very quickly because we've got genes that know how to pick a mating partner very quickly. You can usually tell pretty quickly if he or she likes you. People let their intentions known very quickly through their actions and speech. You can pick up on it if it's positive or negative. If you know there's nothing or perceive that she doesn't feel for you, be civil but break it off as quickly as possible and don't expect a kiss or ask for the phone number if you don't plan to use it. Just say you had a nice time and you will see her around. She will be relieved too after she closes the door. The biggest thing I can't stand is someone trying to act bubbly with that silly laugh all the time. It's phony. You can be happy and still be calm, so get a clue. To me, it's an insecurity coping mechanism more than someone who's truly happy in life. The biggest mistake I've seen on first dates is that either the guy or girl step over their boundaries by either trying to be too cool or too sexy. You have to see if she likes you first before you say something stupid like let's get naked or grab her leg. Don't volunteer too much personal information. Don't rub her back. Some psychobablists said that the more sexual and outrageous someone acts like on a first date, the more insecure and unsexual they really are because they're trying to project a super sexy vibe in order to get away from the other person getting to know who they really are underneath this armor. I agree. People who act too sexy right off the bat are trying to hide something unless it's someplace where it's fair game like a strip bar or a swingers club, because there, it's not about love, it's about sex. Don't talk about sex even if the other person initiates. Take it easy. Let it go where it's going. Most people are amateurs trying to act cool, which is alright, but don't try to be too cool, just be yourself because that's what you want someone to fall in love with, the real you. The next big faux pas is the setup for romance where a guy takes a girl to the beach under the stars, for a gondola ride, or they drink a few bottles of champagne at a restaurant, but the problem is that there's no real romance there, so they end up as uncomfortable as hell on that gondola ride. Don't do romantic things until a later date. Just have easy fun. Don't try to kiss a girl unless she smiles at you and gives you the come on by getting close to your face as if she's puckering up for it. I've seen dates where the guy takes the girl to the beach, they're drinking champagne, she likes him, she's giving him the come-ons and he's too uncertain to move in, so it ends up in an uncomfortable rut. Don't provoke a romantic setting unless you intend to do something. Girls want a show of meaning, so if you feel it, don't be shy about it. Girls really do want that shining knight in armor guy to sweep them away, but most girls are way pickier than guys. You gotta make sure she really likes you first. Another major mistake on the first date is to talk too much about yourself or about anything and ask too many personal questions like you're in the FBI interrogating them to see if they fit into your checklist. Silence is good in dates. You don't have to talk every minute. Sit in silence for a few minutes. It's more natural this way. Don't take it so hard. Just be yourself. If she really likes you, she will stay. If not, so what? You learn that you can't please everybody and there are a lot of picky people around seemingly off in their own worlds a lot different than you. You really can't fool people much. They will see the real you soon enough. The problem with many first dates is that the guy tries too hard for a zoe, woo, zing, kapow home run, grand slam when you should take it easy, lighten up and just try to be generically nice. If you come on too strong, you're perceived as threatening. Slow down, don't try too hard to please, just go with the flow. Gifts are nice but they ain't the real deal, it's you, your attitude to life. You're each checking each other out. If you talk too much about yourself, you're perceived as vain and arrogant. Read her body language. All girls have enough sense to know to smile at someone they like and scowl at someone they don't. Most people are very picky, so don't take it personally. The big deal for a lot of guys is the car. Walk her to the car door, always a bit behind her, open it and close it for her. Many guys get in the car then either go for the jugular with way too many stupid questions about nothing in particular or do something to assert their manhood like play macho rock full blast. Have a tape of upbeat digital pop already there and play it at half volume for a few minutes while you ask her where's she from and where she went to school. After that, some silence is good because you wanna come off cool and casual, not like you're trying too hard. Girls like disco style, digitized, techno pop stuff. She gets in a good mood listening to it and she thinks you must be a cool guy to have this good music. Don't play draggy rock or heavy metal or anything like that. Don't play slow love songs either. They're a drag on a first date. To me, country is totally square unless you're a redneck. First date 3. Don't talk too much. Ask a few stupid questions then play it cool. Everybody seems to think that they have to fill up all awkward pauses with customary stupid questions about the high school prom and your goals in life. Gimme a break. Just because you stay quiet doesn't mean you don't like her nor her you. It means you're cool enough not to try too hard. You might go to a light-hearted entertainment place like a beach or an amusement park to make the girl feel good by virtue of the atmosphere. Amusement parks and fairs put you into situations where everybody's having a good time so it rubs off. Don't go to a quiet place to talk right off like the park for a barbecue because there's too much pressure. Try for easy fun. If you go to the parks, bring a diversionary task like your dogs so you walk them and play with them with the frisbee. Don't do anything where it's just you two looking at each other like at a restaurant or even a picnic by itself. You have to have something else like a little hike beforehand, a boat ride, a walk, etc. I once went on a ferry ride to an island where it was cool to be around people for a bit, then when we got there, we walked around to the isolated spots and had a good time alone out in nature for a while, then later we went to the tourist shops then took the ferry back. It was a good date, a mixture of being around other people than just us two for a while. I don't really believe in stealing kisses, too much pressure for more kisses and too phony anyway. A stolen kiss is if she's looking away or otherwise distracted and you plant one on her cheek. My preference is to talk about personal things for a bit then you look at each other. If you feel it in the eye contact and it's longer than 7 seconds, move in slowly and kiss her on the cheek, not on the lips. Back off, look at her. If she smiles, kiss her lightly on the lips, back off, look at her again. If she still smiles, go for a deeper kiss and embrace her at the same time. I don't think tongue/French kissing is a good idea until a later date, but sometimes two lovers start deep kissing right away. I say keep the first date sanitary and nice. Let the girl talk. If she asks a question, answer it honestly. Comfortable silence between two people is a sure sign of a romantic heart-to-heart connection. If she feels comfortable just being with you in silence, it's almost love. Just try to be a good guy having a good time. Later on, feel out the situation. If it's dead, can it, so what, it's not rejection, it just didn't work. If it's going well, take initiative, kiss her without asking, hug her, smile at her, you will know what to do. If you're trying to get into a busy restaurant, don't use the lost reservations ploy, too phony. Approach the person in charge and make sure you're at least 8 feet away from your date. Speak in low tones. Shake the host/hostess's hand with a $20 bill in it while emotionally telling her it's your anniversary and how important it is to your wife. Try to befriend the host rather than make it look like the restaurant screwed up or owes you a table because you're so special. In order to avoid excessive body odor, belching, flatulence or queasiness, eat only light foods you're familiar with for a full day before the date, like fruits, vegetables, not beans, garlic, onions, or cabbage, and light cereal. If your credit card is near the limit, bring cash just in case. There are dating books at hashtag 306.73 and hashtag 646.76-78 at the library. General psychology and spiritual books about how to be an attractive, cool, fascinating person are number 155 to number 158 and number 291 respectively. First date 4. Don't try too hard. Don't put up a wall of anxiety. Put out an aura of calmness. If you date a girl and she says, "You're a nice guy but I'm not ready for a relationship," she's really saying you're not my Prince Charming. Don't take dates personally. The world is full of all kinds of self-deluded wannabe egocentric superstar advanced bitches and bastards who are in truth so insecure and messed up that they have to project their negativity onto you by acting superior and belittling you, even on a first date, so don't take it all so hard. If it doesn't work, don't go home, cry, and think you're a wimp. Blame it on them, they're the dud not you. The law of love says you will have to date some frogs before you find your prince, so don't ever give up dating to find your love. Think of a first date as dating your mother and treat them that way, with respect and tact. Don't betray any antisocial behavior. We're all antisocial to a certain extent at certain times, so don't complain to the waiter, kick a dog, cut somebody off in traffic, blow smoke in her face, or bump into somebody on purpose out on the street. Keep your anger hidden away as all mature people do. If you don't like your date, eliminate it rather than stay and fight with her. A big thing about guys over girls is that they will generally date any girl who seems reasonably attractive and gives them signals, while girls are so critical that they eliminate 75% of the guys right off the bat. This is crazy. A lot of people who don't look incredible wind up being fantastic, but girls have all these fantasies about some Gary Cooper, Errol Flynn swashbuckling type gonna sweep them away, so they reject most guys until they hit their mid-30s, wake up one day desperate, then go to the other extreme and marry the first half-decent guy they come across, even though he may be the wrong one. Be cooler about it. Date more guys but continue to show restraint until you find somebody with some connection to you beyond money and looks. You might call it settling, but I call it pragmatic reality. You're probably not gonna get a perfect fit, so take the one that's alright if it keeps you from being lonely. You never know, she might end up being the true superstar for you when all is said and done. There's uncertainty in every relationship, even the love at first sight one, so even if it feels good but not great, that might be the ticket to go for it, because waiting for the perfect mate could be hard because there are so few perfect matches out there. Think of a date as a game. You have to psyche yourself up so you're at your best while you play, but don't be so serious that you defeat yourself. It's like a flow you get into if you're relaxed about it and relaxed about yourself as a person. It's not about a checklist of needs, it's about your intuitive feeling of the person, the sense of aura you get about them. Trust it, it's almost always right. Look at yourself in the mirror. You deserve someone like you, and that's who you will get. This is not positive or negative, merely a statement of fact. Aside from the obvious mismatches via the gold digger/trophy wife complex, everybody else gets who they deserve. Everybody knows intuitively where they are in the pecking order and go for someone roughly at the same place because it's comfortable for both of them. If you like a guy, don't ever play hard to get, despite what certain phony experts will tell you about ignoring him for a week to get him hot and bothered. This is stupid. If you play a guy, he will get tired of it and leave because he knows there are lots of chicks out there, and ultimately all sex leads to the same feeling, so nobody is that special that they will command undivided attention from a guy, especially a reasonably handsome guy doing all right for himself. He doesn't need the hassle. He wants someone uncomplicated who appreciates him and doesn't play games. Don't impose feminine psychobabble on him like PMS, your period, your friends, your family, trying to make him feel guilty or jealous about things, telling him your entire neurotic/psychotic life story, whining, nagging, or talking incessantly about nothing just to talk because you're so empty inside. A guy falls for you. He's not particularly interested in your family or friends, so lay low with them. He might be nice to them, but he'd really rather not deal with them much. I generally don't like all the stereotypical fathers around who feel they have to act macho like they're protecting their daughters if you go over to the house where she's living with her parents. There are some cool fathers who will just say hi and leave you alone, not asking you the usual stupid questions like how old are you, what do you do for a living, or how good the local sports team is, which I could care less about. You're there for her, you're not necessarily interested in her family. You can be cordial, but they don't do anything to turn you on. I'm one of these guys who's not gonna put on a fake bubbly social act to show somebody how corny, conventional, straight-laced, and successful I am. If a guy doesn't call you immediately after a first date and waits a week, it could be that he's an arrogant tit, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's arrogant. He could just be a little shy or uncertain, so play it cool. If you like him, go out with him again. First date 5. Men hate the so-called festive holidays while women seem to like them, so if you're wondering why he doesn't call you up to share Christmas with him, it's because he thinks it's all a bunch of cultural brainwash and wants to wait till the hype is over before he comes out again without having to bother with all that phony Merry Christmas crap. If you think you've got a joke but it might bomb, don't say it. Don't use bad taste. Don't talk about what a nerd you are, like saying something to the effect of, I haven't had a date in 10 years, or I seem to date nothing but losers, where you could be implying that your date is a loser. Closely allied to this is the guy who thinks he's gotta hit a grand slam home run, so he rents a limo, rents a helicopter for a helicopter tour, lands on a roof of an office building, then they dine at an expensive skyline restaurant in the building. One guy actually did this on the first date and impressed the girl, but what's he gonna do for the second, third, and fourth dates? It's all downhill from there. Don't bring any gifts for the first date. If it works out, send her flowers and a card. Keep your first date short. Don't have sex. If you're meeting for a meal, select a place that's casual and comfortable, not some fancy, stuffy place. If you're a woman, asked out by a man, you might consider contributing by offering to leave the tip or take him elsewhere for a drink or dessert. Be a good listener. Don't trash talk anyone. Don't talk too much. Don't reveal everything right away. Don't talk about marriage yet. If your date does, just brush it off with a statement like, someday, when I've met the right person. You don't know this person. Don't get too personal right away, because if they blow you off, you will feel rejected for having revealed so much and they blew you off. Trust your instincts. If you think your date is a dud, get it over with. Be a friend first as opposed to a lover. Smile and laugh. First date 6. Never let it all out on the first date, because then he has the upper hand. Chick on dating show. The truth is to just be yourself and be kind. There are a lot of messed up people out there who will try to make you feel bad because they feel bad, but on the surface they're trying to act cooler and superior than you to mask this feeling within themselves. I've met my share of these bitches as a young guy, while I'm sure a lot of girls met their share of bastards. I'm always unpretentious and unassuming unless someone really makes me angry. If somebody tries to come off with an I'm all that, go girl, got it going on, bitch attitude with me, I smile to myself and say to myself, another stupid, lost soul, phony bitch, then I leave as quickly as possible. You don't owe anybody anything. If you're being a good, decent person and somebody you're on a date with is starting to act mean-spirited, don't take it personally and don't take it. Just leave. There's no law that says you have to stay. On the dating TV shows, they stay because they signed a contract that said they have to stay until the end, no matter how bad it gets. It's best just to say, see ya later, and leave, but if it's really bad, just say you gotta use the can and leave. There is no formula. I have yet to meet one truly suave man or woman in my life. I've met a few very flirty girls, but when I got past their flirtiness, I found that they had no real identities of their own. Their power was in their ability to make men think that they were special and that they were interested in them, but they were robotic about it. I knew one girl who did this with virtually every guy she met, regardless of how unappealing the guy was. It was her little ego game for herself. Trust what you feel. It has to be a mutual connection. Don't listen to cheesy compliments. Every man with any savoir-faire knows that virtually all girls are suckers for compliments, so don't be. Wait and see if it's real. In a nutshell. If you like him, let him know. Everybody's nervous, it's automatic. Dress appropriately. Don't come on too strong with cleavage hanging out. He's not blind. He can see. Be on time. Write her phone number down in case you get lost on the way there. If you're the woman, consider your date's finances. Try to have a backup plan. Show common courtesy. Show interest in her. My entire philosophy about first dates, even if you really feel a strong mutual attraction with the other person, is to be lighthearted, fun and talk deep only if it goes there naturally. Don't force it with deep questions. Many guys try to be a sensitive friend or play it real cool like they're macho casual. Neither of these approaches works very well. If you act like a friend, she will treat you like one when it comes time for the big kiss. If you act like a one-dimensional macho man, you will turn her off. She wants you to take a stand with your emotions, to tell her and show her that you really, really like her and think she's real special. You have to be a upstanding, studly gentleman. Don't beat around the bush. If you really like her, show her, tell her, treat her like a lady. You're on a date, it's supposed to be romantic, not just two buds talking about life. Despite all the talk about women's lib, equality is not the order of the day. She's the prize and you're supposed to cherish her like a knight in shining armor. Remember, the male yin is dominance, the female yang is to open up to be happily conquered. Create an atmosphere. Have a plan in mind. Stay cool but not too casual. Show that you took the time to prepare and check things out. It's as easy as a walk on the beach followed by a reservation at an oceanside restaurant on the patio facing the ocean, a cruise, anything out of the ordinary. Take the time to show that you dressed well and groomed yourself. Don't be late. Leave early to get there on time. Women will be acting nice but they will be checking you out, trying to size you up as to what kind of guy you are. That's just the way they are, and then at some point, accidentally on purpose, they will swing into you or otherwise get right in your face about 3 inches from it because they want to eyeball you eye to try to see what's in your soul. It's a good sign. It shows she's checking you out. Don't scowl or make a weird expression when it happens, just look back into her eyes gently. If you're worried about what to say, take notes about your life and hobbies, etc. Go to the library and look through a few magazines and take notes about what's going on with music, sports, current events, etc. so you will have something to say during the date. If you're older and in the educated crowd, listen to talk radio, watch Discovery and the Learning Channel for the latest educational stuff. Focus on the other person. Be a good listener. When you speak, bounce back some of what they told you to show that you've been listening. Don't try too hard though. If you like your date, give them a few compliments like, "You have very beautiful eyes." The secret to being adventurous, intriguing, unique and offbeat is very simple. The government has done it all for you. Just get a copy of both your state and the local tourist guides where you live. It's all in there, anything you want to do. When I looked through the tourist guide of the city I lived in most of my life, I wasn't even aware of half of the things that were going on. Get my travel book. A comedy club, amusement park, fair, or park are good bets for a first date because people go there to have fun and everybody's in a good mood. The girl will attribute the good time to you when it was really the place that did it. Go out to a nice picnic at the park, play badminton, anything but some restaurant where you're stuck eating while facing each other. Always try to do different things on dates. Ask her what she likes to do. Don't experiment too much on a first date. I know one guy who got a first date with a girl to go hiking in the mountains, but all he did was buy a map. He had never been there before, so they got lost and a search party had to go out and find them. He should have went out on his own, talked to a ranger and walked a hiking trail before the date to know what to do. There's a fine line between cool and boring. Don't be nervous and all over the place, stay level-headed and have a good, calm time. Watch out for arrogance and bragging. First date 7. Don't talk about yourself too much, put some interest in your date's life but keep it superficial with things like school, hometown, hobbies, etc. Don't get too deep yet. If your date asks you an embarrassing question, just ignore it or tell him he's getting too personal, crossing the line of discretion. Have it all planned out before you ask her out. Be upbeat and positive. Ask if she likes amusement parks first. She will know what you're up to, and if she doesn't want to go out with you, she will say something like amusement parks are childish or that she's got no time. If she says she likes them, it's a positive sign for the next question of asking her out. Have it planned out what to ask, how to ask, what the potential date will be about. If she says yes, get her number to call her to verify, or tell her you will pick her up or meet her somewhere, whatever she wants. Know your budget. Be polite. Don't be sarcastic because of nervousness. Perhaps suggest an alternative activity and /or time if she's busy then. Be ready for a composed response if it's a rejection. If it's a friend, consider a love letter/date invitation through the mail with a response card in it. After the date, if you really like the other person, don't wait the customary 3 days to call. Regardless of whether you're the guy or the girl, regardless of whether you get him or the answering machine, call and just say something like, "Hi Jimmy, I just wanted to say thanks for the date, it was fun, I had a great time, bye," then hang up. The easiest way to turn a guy down is to say you'd like to go out with him but you're seeing someone else right now. Men hate rejection. Be polite and gracious when doing it. If you're a girl, don't ever go out with a guy on a first date without money for a cab if need be. He might be a jerk. You might want to go home. If somebody tries to pick up your date, let them. Don't act possessive because you don't own her. It's just a first date. If she likes you, she will stay. Look at it as a compliment. After he's had his play, she will either go with him or reject him and stick with you. Either way, you win because it's the truth. If she chooses to stay with you, tell the guy three's a crowd, you're on a date, you want some privacy. If you're at a table at a bar with some girl you're not heavily attracted to that you're flirting with that you might have gone there with and some dude comes over making the moves on her, don't compete with him. When they get up to dance, either go over to the bar and sit there or leave. Don't overanalyze dates. Accept them as is and keep moving forward either with the guy or without him. It doesn't matter which as long as you keep moving. First date 8. First dates are about getting to know each other casually. Express your true self. Get to know your date in a genuine way. Your value is you, not money spent or where you go. That's secondary. Ask questions like, what work do you do? What schools did you go to? What kind of music do you like? Don't talk about sex or past relationships. Religion and politics are fine. It's good to go out on dates and analyze your dates to try to see what you've done that was not in the spirit of good social graces. You can always learn something. Then when you meet your soulmate, you'll be ready, or at least more ready than you are now. The old rule applies. You're never really ready, and if you wait until you are, you'll be an old shoe who will have missed your chance. Be kind and gentle without being a wimp or taking abuse. It's easy to criticize a date you don't like. It's much tougher to criticize yourself objectively and see that some of the things you do on a date undermine your chances of being likable and asked out again. Don't take liberties with a date. Intimacy takes time. Contrary to what I saw some phony dating expert on TV say, feeding a guy a spoonful of your food, especially on a first date, is not erotic. I would resent it if some girl I barely knew tried to feed me something in her efforts to be erotic pop culture style, because she saw it on TV somewhere. If we were meant to make love, it will happen in due time without all this phony pretense going on. If you go to an expensive restaurant, that's the standard you set, so if she orders expensive stuff, you ask for it. Keep your mouth shut about criticizing her for ordering too much. Everybody has some insecurity. You control it best by being straight and true. If someone doesn't like it, too bad for them. I know I'm a good person because I had a vision of who I am as a human being while under the influence of magic mushrooms once. This is why no one phases me. especially assholes trying elementary manipulative tactics on me. I know who I am, and if someone doesn't like it, I don't care. I know in my soul that I'm a good person. Think like this and you will never be insecure. This is what I'm like on dates. We either really like each other or there's nothing there. Either way, I don't waste time. It's presumptuous to say that you feel like you have known your date forever. This reduces him or her into someone simple. If you're true soulmates, you will both know naturally in due time. Don't try to come off like a free bohemian unless you are one, which means you live for what you believe in and don't work a regular job. If you work a regular job, you're a generic human being regardless of what airs you put on, so don't try to fake it. If you have the guts to live freely following your own inspiration or running your own business, that qualifies as wild and free, but anything else doesn't. If you go to a restaurant with valet parking, take it and pay as opposed to parking on the street to save a few bucks. The best place to meet a date is at her home or in a public place like a coffee shop or a restaurant. Don't say you'll meet her at the corner of Elm and Oak Sts. Then be an hour late. Don't be late for a date. Make a date at least a day in advance. Nobody likes the stigma of not having anything hot to do on a Friday or Saturday night, so if you call Friday or Saturday afternoon and ask for a date that night, in order to save face so to speak, they'll say they're busy and blow you off. Girls hate indecisive guys who leave things up in the air. If you ask a girl out, have some kind of defined plan of where you will go and what you will do. First date 9. Be straight. Be real. Don't smoke. At the very least, it will make your date cringe at the thought of kissing you. Use common sense etiquette. Don't talk with your mouth full. Watch your body language. Don't do nervous mannerisms like bounce your leg nervously. Don't make fun of others in an attempt to be funny. If you ask someone how many lovers they've had, you can't win. You've just destroyed the mood and they will lie depending on who they think you are. If you invite your date into your home either at the beginning or at the end of your date, don't make him or her wait alone on your couch while you use the bathroom, the phone for more than 10 minutes, etc. If you're a girl, don't take liberties with the guy by using him to spend money on you. Try not to talk about other dates, your looks, body parts, your diet, or sex unless the other person initiates it. Don't drink too much booze nor talk about how much you like to drink. Don't say you never kiss on the first date to someone you really like. If a guy goes on a date with the intention of eating a meal, don't come off like a sparrow who hardly eats. Eat like normal people do to put him at ease. Don't come off like a gold digger. Don't come off bitter about life. Don't wear too much perfume or cologne. Don't be rude to the service people you deal with on a date. If you want to get to know each other, don't go to loud restaurants or bars full of rowdy singles. Don't do things because you think they look cool. Be yourself. If a girl doesn't like you and wants to go home, don't tell her to chill out, take it easy and go with the flow. Take her home. If you are a business executive or something like that, don't have your assistant call to confirm your date. Do it yourself. Don't act like a brainwashed sports fan. It makes you look stupid. Don't talk sex unless the other brings it up. Wear what you feel comfortable in. If your date criticizes you for wearing cheap sneakers, that's good because you've just gotten enough information to reject her as a worthy mate for you. To me, arrogance, vanity and pop culture frivolity are the worst things I don't like. Don't say anything about the way your date is eating. If a flower girl comes around in a restaurant selling roses and you're on a first date, tell her you'll buy one later because it puts too much pressure on the date, since a red rose symbolizes love, plus the fact that the girl has to carry the rose around for the rest of the date acting like she cherishes it. Don't give advice on grooming or dress. It shows arrogance. Unless you want the date to end, don't talk about other people that you think are attractive. Before you order a drink, ask your date if she wants one. Don't drive too fast or wildly in an attempt to look cool, free and daring. Don't show anger at anything. Don't criticize your date's gender with such statements like why are women so frivolous or why do men do something as stupid as watching sports on TV. Don't talk about yourself too much. Restraint is a positive trait. People who bare their souls and say too much right off have nothing left to show. There's a pace to revealing yourself. Anybody can say anything they want. I tend to believe in actions over words. Most people are strong and brave when they talk, but the true test is their actions, which is why I don't listen too much to people talking about themselves nor believe them. I've heard bragging 100 times before on everything from sex to machismo, but it doesn't impress me. What impresses me is the person's actions and behavior. The morale is don't talk so much that you look like a talking fool. Make moderate eye contact, not penetrating, extreme eye contact. Don't talk about your love of pornography unless she brings it up first. Honor your date. Don't talk about how attractive and great other people are. First date 10. Don't think in terms of sex. Despite how the media portrays one-night stands as fairly easy things that happen all the time, I worked in bars for a good number of years. They don't happen that much, and they especially don't happen on a first date where you asked a girl out in advance. Chances are that she is looking for a husband and knows that if she puts out right away, you won't respect her and you'll dump her. Try to get to know each other and make friends. If your date over or underdresses, so what? Ignore it and do the date. The guy should drive on the date. You're the man. You're in charge. Pay for the date. The girl shouldn't offer to pay until the third or fourth date. Go easy on the cologne/perfume, especially on your panties or underwear. Girls are funny in the sense that they will wear tight clothes to accentuate their breasts, yet they will scold you for staring at them too much. Notice them, but keep your contact on her eyes. Open the car door for her until you get to know her. First date 11. There are no secrets to getting a first date. You just have to make the first move, act like you're an interesting person, look good, or at least be clean, have a healthy body, don't be fat, be kind, loving, easygoing, make an effort at good conversation and have some disposable income you're willing to spend. It's common sense. Every single and married person on the planet harbors a regret of meeting someone somewhere or just seeing someone somewhere that felt right but they did not take that chance. You meet someone in a post office, department store, etc., there's a good chance you will never see them again. You got one chance to ask for a phone number or email address. That's why you should join our dating website, then make up business cards with the website name plus your handle on them to pass around in case you see someone you like. In order to get a date, you have to have something to offer the other person, like you're a fun person. You're entertaining. You got money and status/power. You got game/sex appeal. You're interesting in an aesthetic, intellectual, spiritual way. You come across as a good, solid, straight arrow. You can help them somehow. You're an authoritative father figure. You do not have time to chase someone who does not want you. Look for someone else. The easy way to get a first date is to say we should go out sometimes just as friends, just to hang out and have fun together. Become friends first. Respond romantically only if she makes a move. Women love to dance. Take them dancing. It's a great chance to hold her close but keep it light and non-sexual. She has to get to know you. Don't make lewd moves on the dance floor. Relax and have a good time. Pay attention to her. Don't look around. Don't flirt with other girls. If she's positive, lightly kiss her, but not unless you know she wants you to. Tell her you enjoy being with her. Don't confess undying love on a first date. Just keep an even keel because she might reject you or you might realize she's not so hot after all. When you end the date, do not go into her apartment or take her to yours. Walk her to her door, give her a light peck or hug her goodnight and tell her you will call her. Be honest. Let her know if you love her or you're looking around at the other options. Gradually increase your intimacy. Kiss and cuddle more. Tell her that you want to make her happy and satisfy her. Become an expert at kissing, cuddling, and touching. Women want kissing, cuddling, touching, and tenderness. Never ask a bunch of personal questions. That will turn the date off. There are 3 rules to great conversation. 1. Focus on being interested in the other person without interrogating them. 2. Ask open-ended questions that need an explanation like why. 3. Don't force it. Be honest and spontaneous. Don't go to a restaurant on a first date. It's dull and boring. People do not like to eat in front of a person they hardly know. They're stuck talking even if they realize there's no love connection. Don't go to a movie either. Do something active. Take her somewhere fun and informal. Laugh and have fun. Act like you are really having a great time. Do not come off too serious. Have fun. Men are too serious. Loosen up. Laugh and have a great time with women. Women want men who are successful. Women want men who wear suits. Don't approach women on a sexual level. Approach them on a friendly level and you will have a lot better chance of getting to know them. Be nice. Meet as many women as you can to be friends. From them, you network into meeting their friends. Go wherever there are women and try to meet them. When a woman talks, listen to her. Be a super nice guy. Become an expert on non-sex intimacy, cuddling, kissing, hugging, and foreplay. Women want touch more than they want sex. Flirt in a good-natured, non-sexual way. It shows you like her and you're not a crude animal. Women want to meet men but they are very careful because of safety issues. Treat your date/lover like you'd like another guy to treat your mother or sister. Be romantic, be polite. Treat her like a lady. Do not force anything. Be nice and patient. Become her friend. Don't lead a girl on. If she tells you she is in love with you and you don't love her, be honest or just leave and never call her back. Put on a smile the next time you approach a woman. Women like to hear their own names. Call her by her name on your dates. Take a woman's course at a local college. Treat all women you might want to date as people and not as a sex object. Show interest in them as a friend. First date 12. Be a good sport because you will get more misses than hits before you find Mr. or Ms. Right. Do not come on too strong with flowers, gifts, a big limousine at the front door, etc. If the chemistry's there, let it unfold naturally. Whatever happens, don't take it so hard. It's only a stupid date, it ain't like life or death. Don't talk about yourself or your past love life too much and don't make stupid jokes or comments about sex. Don't ask too many direct questions like it's an interrogation. Be subtle and roundabout with it. No matter how much money you fork over, don't see it as an exchange and expect gratitude, a kiss, or even sex in return. It's part of the game. You asked her out, you gotta pay and she don't owe you nothing in return. A girl gives you points for emotional connection, not money spent. It's fine for women to ask men out, or if you're too shy or think it's not proper, simply use your feminine charm to let the man know you're available. Do something enjoyable so that the attention isn't exclusively on you two, where you're around other people who are having fun. I can't understand a movie on a first date where you're stuck in silence for 2 hours. The dinner and movie are the universal constants for over 90% of the population, but they show that you're dull and have no imagination and really are a drag. What if the movie turns out to be really embarrassing, violent, or just a bust? You've just destroyed the mood, so research your movie a bit before you go. I personally have patience for maybe 10% of all movies out there. Most are too stupid and boring for me. Sitting in front of someone and worrying about whether you're eating properly and thinking of stupid things to say for a few hours is not exactly a metaphor of romance bloom, so try to avoid the fancy restaurant bit. A casual restaurant is fine, but don't go fancy. It flies in the face of my universal rule, which is don't get too deep with the first date and don't go where you don't fit just because the culture says it's cool. A first date shouldn't be an all-day affair in case you don't like each other, and also even if you do like each other, you don't want to start off too strong then leave it with nowhere to go. Some people go out on a first date, then within 2 hours one feels comfortable with the other, so she will take liberties and start spilling her guts out about everything, even the taboos like talking about your expo, sex, complaining about all your trivial little problems and planning the future. Some girls actually do this on a first date, then muckle right onto the guy. Insecure guys might like it, but real guys will know you're a weak person. Men want you to like them but not smother them. Walk that fine line between these two extremes. That's the art of being a lady. Don't cross his masculine boundaries nor assume that he loves you too soon. Let it develop at its own pace. Don't set high expectations that he can't match. Try to make it a casual thing like on a weeknight to avoid the big Saturday night pressure date thing. Listen to what he says. Men open up very quickly once they think you're alright. Let him talk about work, love, and life. That's how you learn about guys. Regard your own safety. Tell a friend where you're going and call her every little while to let her know what's going on. Don't go to any dive/dangerous places. Bring a whistle just in case. Watch out for jokes. They're very revealing about his personality. If he's sketchy about his background, he could be married or could have been a jailbird. When something goes wrong, get rid of it by bringing up another subject and ignoring it. You could laugh about it, can the night, and offer to try again later. He either wants a serious steady or he doesn't. The third date is the critical one. If it gets that far, it could be leading somewhere. Before you order for her, ask her it's okay if you order for her or if she wants to place her own order. Don't get too presumptuous about your future together right away. Don't talk about marriage and kids right away. Don't talk about your past relationships either way, good or bad. Just say it's in the past. It's all behind you. You live in the present. Don't talk about your mental illness if you have one, and don't play psychoanalysis. As soon as anyone tells me they're a psychology major or a psychologist, I think to myself, another brainwashed clone thinking they know something about life because they studied all that crap in school without having the strength to analyze their own lives as they are, purely, which is the only true wisdom. Any girl who is into this stuff is generally too somber to make a good mate. She's most likely overanalyzing every situation. If you think the date is dead, don't play along while constantly looking at your watch. End the date. Say it's not working out, let's end it. Don't talk about your shady past. People want to know who you are right this very minute. Don't flirt with others. Respect your date. If you have a pet, say so in endearing terms, but don't treat it as the love of your life. The further away you sit from your date, the more you dislike him. Try to sit close to him if you like him. If you go to a guy's house at the end of the date and don't want to be seduced, don't go to the bedroom with him. If you like your date, thank him and say you had a great time. Don't show too much cleavage. Be discreet. A girl that offered to pay half or pay for the date too soon is not being ladylike. Like I already said, wait until the third or fourth date. Don't go to the bathroom excessively. Turn your cell phone off during a date. If you hate your family, don't talk about them. If you love them, don't get too soppy about it. If you are sincerely sick, reschedule the date. Thank your date at the end of it. First date 13. Don't talk about your sexual history or ask about her sexual history. Act too nice and phony. Be a yes man, meaning don't try too hard. Make the date too long. Go to a phony place just for the atmosphere. Be real. That high-class restaurant is no good if you're surrounded by uppity duds who pretend you don't exist. Order difficult food to eat like clams, oysters, chopsticks, hot food, beans, etc. Be late. Talk about former lovers. Talk too much about yourself. Brag. Drink too much. Whine, complain. Go to a singles place where they will hit on your date. Dress too up or too down. Say anything negative about the way she's dressed. Go somewhere that's very loud like a loud nightclub. Ask too many personal questions. Be too open with your life story. Flirt with others. Compare your date with others out loud to her even if you're being positive because you're still being a gossip and she barely knows you. Chapter 2. First date issues. Hanging out vs. a date. You might think that telling someone we should hang out sometime is a less invasive way to lead to romance, but it could lead to a wrong expectation. What if the person just wants to hang out while you're trying to be romantic? This is why you should make your intentions perfectly clear. Don't say we should hang out. Say we should go out. The word hang is too casual if you want to on a date. End of date info. If the date is obviously dead, don't bother walking her to the door. Just open the car door for her, and when she gets out, look at her, nod your head, tell her you will see her around, get back in the car and leave. She will be relieved. You don't even have to leave the car. Just thank her and leave. If you're the girl and you don't want him to follow you, just say goodnight firmly and walk away quickly. No matter how much of a dud she is, drive her home anyway and just say see you later while sitting in your seat without the obligatory walk to the door and kiss. She thinks you're a dud too and will be relieved when you get the hint. If he's driving and there's clearly no love connection, dig your keys out of your purse in the car, jingle them to let him know and clutch your door handle at the ready. Thank him in the car and quickly leave, going straight into the house. Almost 2/3 of all first dates end with a kiss. If he's nice, let him walk you to the door and give him a good night kiss. If he misses your lips, just ignore it or laugh about it. Don't keep your eyes open. If you just want a friendly peck, turn your head to expose your cheek. If you like her, face her and tell her it was great and that she's beautiful. Look into her eyes for as long as you feel comfortable, then step in and start moving your head towards her. If she moves in too, that means she likes you. Most girls that like the guy will not necessarily initiate a kiss, but they will initiate a hug by opening their arms out and moving into the guy. Just hug her. You don't have to kiss on a first date. If she backs off, it means she doesn't see you as lover material, so don't push it and leave. If it's meant to be, plant a soft kiss on her cheek or mouth, then back off. Don't use any tongues on a first date. Save it for later. You don't want to come on too strong. If she really liked the kiss, you can kiss again and put a hand on the back of her hip to bring her into you. You can sense if she really likes you. After the kiss, stand tall, tell her again that you think she's great and ask her if you can call her or make plans for a second date. If she says yes, it's very important that you call within 48 hours, otherwise she will see you as a non-committal, cold feet, game-playing jerk. She wants a guy who's serious about her. You have to make your intentions perfectly clear. For the men, if you're uncertain about a good night kiss, use discretion and save it for later if there's a second date. The manly thing to do is kiss, because if she likes you that's what she wants, but she could be a naive chick as fumbling as you. If you think she likes you, kiss her. If you like her but think she doesn't like you, don't kiss her. For the women, if you don't want to kiss him, step back when he moves close and turn your head if he tries for it. He will harmlessly kiss your cheek. If you're partying in a public place like a restaurant, always escort her to either her car or help her find a cab. You don't have to pay, although if you really like her, slip her a 10 or a 20 for the fare since it was your date. If she blows you off and says she doesn't need help, leave it at that. Use discretion when inviting a first-time date into your place. He might be a Jekyll and Hyde. Call a friend immediately or write his name and license number down secretly on a piece of paper in your bedroom just in case. Tell your friend you will call her back in an hour so he gets the message of not to try anything just in case he's a Ted Bundy in disguise. Being overly dramatic here, but I guess you never really know, do ya? If you invite him in, say and keep it to a cup of coffee. You don't have to apologize for not wanting sex. Be subtle, but if it starts to get out of hand, get more assertive. Don't invite a first date into your bedroom. Guys interpret an invitation into the bedroom as an invitation to get fresh. Just about everybody says they will call even if they don't like their date, but if they try to make a definite date right off, it means they really like you. If you really like her and feel it from her, ask her for a casual walk in the park Sunday afternoon. Don't say take care of yourself or good luck at the end of a date. It implies condescending superiority. It's so stupid. Keep your mouth shut or just say see you around. If you really like him, send him a thank you letter. Get his address somehow or just leave a cute message on his answering machine. Call to thank him for the date even if you just get the answering machine. If you're both interested, set up another date. If you get a thank you call and you're not interested, tell him or her that you think you're better off as friends. Don't start off by telling her love her right away. If she says she likes you and you don't particularly like her, don't play her. Just say nothing and never call her again. Analyze him through the checklists in other sections. You might consider a dating diary for personal/educational purposes. Don't put up with any form of abuse. If they do it now, what do you think they'll be like when they get more familiar with you? Know the difference between infatuation, puppy love, interest in sex and true love. Don't feel pressured to make any commitment you're not ready for. If your new flame truly loves you, they'll give you time in deciding when you're ready for sex or marriage. Parting gracefully. Some guys and even some girls are very aggressive in demanding if the other one is enthralled by him or her. Be polite but say you need more time. It is not good to keep a person waiting indefinitely. Tell the person that you need about a week. Just tell them that this is probably the most important decision in your life, so you just want to be sure. Don't leave people hanging. Don't keep dating a guy you don't love. Cut it off. If you don't do it now, someday after he has invested all that time into you, you will and he will be very angry and hurt. It's best not to end a relationship while on a date or chatting on the internet. The best thing to do with someone you dated a few times only is to email him or her and say that he or she was not really what you had in mind, but you would like to remain good friends all the same. That's all you have to say. They will get it. It is bad manners to part without a word and just stop answering emails, phone calls, etc. Just send one final email and don't answer if they send you one back. Take the hint, he doesn't love you. If he loved you, he'd treat you right, not like some half-assed, casual babe. If you're sexually and/or emotionally attracted to someone, it doesn't mean they feel the same about you, but guys are aware enough to know when you dig them and they'll play around with you for the sex even if they don't really love you. In general, girls have way too high expectations from guys. Guys are dogs. There ain't too many that are like the Prince Charmings in fairy tales. If somebody ever says they wanna be friends, they don't want to ruin the friendship by dating, they've just gotten out of a bad relationship and want to take it easy for a while to heal. Say they plan to divorce or are in the middle of one, talk about other lovers and relationships with you or give you mixed signals. Take the fucking hint, they don't see you as their soulmate. Just because a guy had sex with you and you thought it was a great romantic evening, to him it was just sex. Guys aren't stupid. They know when you love them, which doesn't mean they love you equally as well, but they'll play you for sex until you get the hint or grow up and realize that no man who doesn't love you can have power over you. Most girls are enablers to their own broken hearts. They wishfully think that a guy is in love with them when he really isn't, and they really know that in the back of their minds. It don't take no rocket scientist to know when someone digs you or they don't. If they say nice things to you, buy presents for you, spend time and money on you, they like you. If they're non-committal or don't call, it means they're using you for possible casual sex or some other reason and will split when they meet their real soulmate. By the same token, not all male-female relationships are sexual or romantic. There is room for platonic friendship there. A lot of guys and girls will befriend each other, might flirt at romance and without discussing it, know they're not meant for each other but still enjoy each other's company so they become friends. In these situations, each often knows this is what's going on but sometimes they don't, especially the girl. She thinks the guy is interested in her while he thinks of her as a friend. In my opinion, if I see a girl I'm really interested in, I won't beat around the bush. The respectable men are straight shooters. They either make a logical decision to pursue you or not, and their actions after this are crystal clear, but I will make one allowance for mixed messages. There are guys out there, either young, inexperienced, immature or insecure about their lives who feel as though they want love on one hand but on the other, they like their free lives or are simply not ready or afraid, so even if they see a girl they like, even though they're attracted to her, they can't go through with a committed relationship because they're just not ready for it, but because of this insecurity and confusion, they inadvertently play here, giving her mixed signals. This is called a guy with intimacy issues. It's pretty common. They might make friends, go out a few times, but the girl is more committed than the guy. He likes her but he's simply afraid of falling in love, getting married, and having kids. This is a big responsibility for a 25-year-old guy, especially when the girl is coming on strong. It is true that some guys will dig you but will not commit because of reasons that have nothing to do with you. Many guys are simply afraid of life in the real world and put all their energies into making it out there rather than focusing on a relationship. Some guys will dig you but they're just straight out shy. Real life is not as glossy as it is on TV. By gloss I mean acting for the camera like all those people on the reality shows do. People in real life are not so bold and suave. There are nice guys out there who are shy. They could dig you but not tell you. In these cases, you can sense it, so you should help them along. Mostly girls, but some guys have past baggage which prevents them from getting involved. If you, as a girl, ever meet a nice guy you're interested in and he is friendly to you but doesn't proceed further, he could either be spoken for, gay, shy. The only way you'll know for sure is if you ask him out. If you have sex with a guy and he comes back for more but nothing much else, or he drops you like a hot potato, get a clue. He doesn't dig you. If you part with or break up with even the most casualist of relationships, I say why bother with the patronizing friendship after this? The spurned one will always feel angry and vindictive on some level. If you're average and looking for guys, take out a personal ad saying you're an average looking girl with a good heart looking for love. You'll get sincere average looking guys coming onto you. If you go out several times and decide you don't want to continue the relationship, you don't owe the other person an explanation. In fact, explanations can be uncomfortable, unnecessary, and stupid. It's the unspoken code. All normal people intuitively know if there's a spark there or not. First romantic evening. If you're planning for a romantic evening, do things to minimize the possibility of interruptions. Shut your cell phone off. Turn your landline answering service on, then turn the volume off. If you have children, as a single parent going out on a date, if they're small, make sure they're asleep before you start in on the romance. If they're older, you either send them to grandma's house or to a babysitter's house, or you go out and rent a hotel room for the night, or go all out and make it a romantic getaway weekend. If you plan to have romantic music, use a tape. Don't rely on a radio station with a loud disc jockey and possibly embarrassing commercials that might ruin the mood. Don't turn the TV on unless it's a classic love movie. Clean up your house. Put new sheets on the bed. Despite how TV treats porn as a casual thing that everybody likes, most girls don't really like it because they think it portrays women as demeaned sex objects. It's not the way to score with a girl, to invite her into your place and expect her to want to watch porn with you. Girls want to be romanced. They don't care how corny and textbook it is, they all want their chance to experience a romantic evening. Don't be a one-dimensional dunce with a porn tape on your coffee table that you think she'll be curious about and ask you to watch. This only happens in porn movies. Girls hate dirty bathrooms. A girl will judge a guy's level of domestication by the cleanliness of his bathroom. They like guys with clean bathrooms. It shows that they have a sense of domestication to them and can be tamed to be good husbands. If you're married and are planning a romantic evening, the easiest way to win favor with your wife is to clean the bathroom and change the sheets on the bed. When eating foods as part of a romantic date, there are fun foods like chocolate syrup, whipped cream, and strawberries, but for the main course, don't mess with difficult foods, which are foods that are hard to eat, like spaghetti, corn on the cob, spare ribs, or chicken legs that you have to pick up thereby getting grease all over your fingers. Don't serve beans or cabbage because they can cause flatulence. Don't serve hot, spicy foods. They can make you sweat and make you smell bad. Garlic and onions make you smell bad too. Don't have condoms in plain sight, but have them in a drawer near the bed. If you have roommates, tell them about your plans and make a deal that they either stay out or stay shut away in their rooms. Go easy on the booze. A bit of booze is good to loosen up, but too much will ruin everything. You'll not only go limp, but you'll make a fool of yourself. Women like to feel that guys see them as more than as a sex object. This is why the key to a successful romantic evening is not only to talk but to listen. Girls want to be listened to. The more you listen, the more you make the girl feel like you think she's special and you care about her. The way to make any girl relax is to talk to her about her in a loving way. Girls want a decent guy with a decent pad who's got enough money to put on a good date, somebody with a functional car who can afford tickets to a concert with a few creature comforts in his pad to make it look like he's not just an untamed savage, but has enough sense to know that he needs a bit of home decor if he wants to look presentable to a chick. Making the girl feel relaxed is what a good romantic evening is all about. You have to love her, or at least act like you do. Even if you don't love her in the soulmate sense, if you love the one you're with, the romance will go better and you might get the sex you want. Casanova was such a great lover because he loved women and cared for their pleasure. Make a woman feel liked and loved. Touch her gently. Do the seduction and the romance slowly. Don't rush to try to get to straight sex. Make the woman feel aroused. Men in general want to bypass kissing and foreplay to get to the sex, but women hate this. It makes them feel used and doesn't give them any pleasure. A great lover knows what turns women on. He knows a woman's body. Most women like to be kissed, hugged, cuddled, and held close. They like gentle kisses and mild bites in the neck area. They like the back of their necks massaged while kissing. When you kiss, you can hold the back of her head with one of your hands and even gently pull it back by tugging her hair as though in a swoon. You bend her back as you do this. This is the kind of kiss women want, a deeply romantic one. When you make love, focus on foreplay, on pleasing her, and don't focus on intercourse until you've satisfied her to some extent. Lick her clit for a while. You simply respond to what she does. If she's purring, keep doing it. If she pulls back, stop doing what you're doing and do something else. Reassure her with words. There are no super lovers. We're all just average people doing the best we can. Talk softly to her. Don't just focus on blowing your load and disregarding her after that. Share the experience with her. Don't breathe a word about sex during a romantic evening until you're actually doing it. You're interested in having a good time with her, on enjoying her company. That's it. If you make her feel good, she will decide how far it will go. You have to make her feel safe and feel that she trusts you as a good guy and a nice person. Women are intrinsically wired and culturally brainwashed to see men as wolves in sheep's clothing or Jekyll and Hydes, especially when it comes to sex. Before they have sex with a guy, they want to be absolutely sure he's a nice guy who won't go rabid as soon as the clothes start to come off. This is why you'll never get anywhere if you act macho and tough. They'll be thinking in the back of their mind, what will you do if you get romantic then back off and he doesn't get his way? Girls are generally afraid of guys they don't know too well on first dates or a first romantic evening because they don't know if you're going to turn and go aggressive on them. You have to be gentle, put her at ease and develop an emotional bond of trust. Because I'm a big believer that our mass media has made us a violent society where men are brainwashed to solve problems using violence, I'm always aware when I see violence being used to solve problems on TV, both on fictional shows and in real-life stories on the news. What kind of idea do you think the average girl has about men in general when she is exposed to all this violence that men are doing constantly on TV and in movies? The average guy has no idea how much the average girl is afraid of guys in general, especially guys she doesn't know too well, and how she thinks that any guy can turn on a dime from nice guy to angry thug. The average guy can kill the average girl very easily with just his bare hands. Guys are that much physically stronger than girls. The average guy can choke a girl or rip her throat out without trying too hard. Girls are aware of the threat. Most guys are oblivious to the fact that the girl is thinking that this guy could kill her or rape her by force very easily if he wanted to. A sensible girl is always watching a guy she doesn't know very well for the signs. It's always there. All wise girls are always thinking this in the back of their minds, which is why you have to try extra hard to come off like a nice, pacifist, sensible guy who can control his emotions, even when he's angry. Women are also brainwashed to think that all men want is sex, so she can't help being wary when she's got some fast-talking jive turkey trying to get her in the sack. This is why you have to focus on building a friendship rather than trying to pressure her to have sex with you. When a guy invites a girl into his house for a romantic evening, she doesn't know what to expect even if they've already had 5 dates. I read a story about a guy who was invited to a girl's house. She led him down into her dungeon, then chained him up in play but left the shackles on as she took pictures and tried to blackmail him to be her regular sex slave. This is how serial killer Gacy trapped guys. He used a trick pair of handcuffs that he got out of, then he invited them to try, whereupon they couldn't get out of them, so he had them right where he wanted them. Even guys are afraid of going to girls' houses for the first time. You never know if she's a witch or into some kind of weird new age stuff that needs a sacrifice. A girl can drug you then do anything she wants. Girls use this ploy to rob guys, usually at the guy's house. The world is so weird these days that the thought is always there in the back of your mind. I've met a girl before who told me with a straight face that she knew voodoo, implying that she had some kind of special powers. Even though I know it's a bunch of crap, it doesn't change the fact that she is living in a delusion, and part of that delusion could be a male sacrifice or cutting off a male's penis to give her some kind of power. It's not beyond the realm of possibility. If you are out for a quick lay, why bother trying to fake romance? Either pay an escort, look for fun girls somewhere in your community, or go on casual sex dating websites. A lot of girls have past baggage from being sexually abused as kids or abused and beaten up by their father and brothers. If you want romance, you have to sincerely like the girl and show it, and not just for one night but forever. Girls are naturally suspicious of guys. What do you expect when the A&E network is wall-to-wall true-life crime stories, then America's Most Wanted profiles the most despicable men in America every week? You have to treat a girl like a caring brother before you ever expect her to open up to you.